Biafra War explained part 10. This is the video. So if this is the first time you are seeing my account, kindly do me a favor by following my account, like this video, comment and share. The reason for this video is to explain what happened during the war and how the war was fought. You understand? So if this is the first time you are seeing my account and you have interest in knowing what really happened during the war and how the war happened and everything, you are in the right place. Kindly follow, like this video, comment and share. Then go from the beginning and start watching the videos so that you will understand better. And again, I'm trying to rush up these videos because there is a lot of things that I want to explain. After this war, I have the first coup, the second coup, the betrayal, the mistrust in Nigerian political system that led to this civil war, and the programmed. I told the guy that this Biafran war was programmed 20 years ago before the war was fought. Yes, the whites programmed the war 20 or 30 years ago. I will explain everything. Calm down, don't panic. This video is very long, same as part 9. It's very long, but based on TikTok policy, they won't allow us to post long videos here. So I'll be dropping the link of my YouTube channel in the comment section. Please, I'm begging you, go to my YouTube channel and watch the complete video, the full video, because I will shorten the video here. The complete video will be on my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and watch the complete video and drop your comments, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that whenever I drop a new video, you will be the first to see and to notice it. So thank you. Watch the video, enjoy the video. Don't forget, like, comment and share the video. Then click on the link in the comment section to go and watch the full video on my YouTube.
The issue of starvation as a tactic of war, both directly by the federal government and as a tool of propaganda applied by the Biafran government, was one of the most controversial issues of the entire war. As the number of Biafran cities captured by the Nigerians increased, the sheer number of internally displaced civilians skyrocketed. And since Biafra was now blockaded and completely encircled by the Nigerians, most of these civilians, particularly children, began to die of malnutrition and starvation. By July 1968, over 3,000 children were estimated to be dying daily. In August, that number rose to 6,000. The Nigerian Civil War was one of the first wars in Africa to be fought under the scrutiny of international television and press coverage. As a result, images of Biafran children looking like stick figures with bellies swollen from a protein deficiency known as kwashiorkor began to spread overseas. It was a terrible sight to behold. Although efforts were made by some foreign governments and aid to deal with the crisis, it often proved extremely difficult because of the resistance of both the federal and the Biafran government. The federal government insisted that all aid operations within Biafra be coordinated from Lagos and that the deliveries and shipments be routed through Nigeria. But the Biafrans would not agree to this, as they claimed that any food and aid shipments delivered through Nigeria would be laced with poison and therefore could not be trusted. They in turn often used the images and clips of the starving child for general propaganda purposes, in an attempt to tip the diplomatic balance towards the recognition of key global powers. Although this strategy ultimately failed, it came reasonably close to succeeding on several occasions, particularly regarding the unofficial French recognition. Ojukwu felt that the use of starvation was a defended policy by the Nigerian government and a tactic of the Federal Armed Forces. This is what Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Nigerian Minister of Finance, had to say concerning the issue. Everything is fair in war, and starvation is one of the weapons of war. I don't see why we should feed our enemies fat for them to fight harder. After the capture of Port Harcourt, Colonel Benjamin Adenkule, the Black Scorpion, and his 3rd Marine Commando Division began to make plans for the capture of the remaining major cities in Biafra. The 3 on his mind were the cities of Owerri, Aba, and the Biafran capital of Umuahia. And thus, the military action was codenamed Operation OAU. Adekunle's plan, arranged in a triangular configuration, was a simultaneous capture of the three cities. In August 1968, troops from the Nigerians 15th and 16th Brigade set up positions along the Aba-Umuahia Road, cutting off all food shipments from the entire city. The strategy for gaining Aba was to surround and starve the city into submission. On the 2nd of September, Nigerian artillery began shelling the city while ground forces began to enter under heavy Biafran fire. The Biafran 14th Division came under heavy artillery bombardment from the Nigerian 16th Brigade under the command of Colonel E.A. Etuk. For 12 days, bloody house-to-house fighting ensued, and as a result, Colonel Philemon Chande, the commander of the Nigerian 17th Brigade, was killed in battle. After a lot of resistance, the Biafrans finally surrendered on the 4th of September 1968. The city of Aba had been successfully captured. Again, the Nigerian 15th and 16th Brigade were charged with the responsibility of capturing the town of Owerri. On the 13th of September 1968, Biafran's positions at the town of Awara came under fierce artillery bombardment. At the time, Owerri was defended by the Biafran's 14th Division. After putting up a lot of resistance, the Biafran's 14th Division finally abandoned the town of Owerri to the Nigerian 16th Brigade. After the capture of Owerri, Ojukwu appointed Colonel Ogbogu Kalu as commander of the Biafran's 14th Division and reminded him of his failures in Port Harcourt. Ojukwu commanded him to clear the enemies from Obinze, southwest of Owerri, in 24 hours, or tender his resignation from the army. A few hours after the command, Colonel Ogbogu Kalu ordered the Biafran counterattack and was able to halt the Nigerian advance and partially occupy Obinze. Thereafter, Colonel Benjamin Adenkule's 3rd Marine Commando Division now turned its eyes towards the Biafran capital of Umuahia. On the 18th of September 1968, the 18th and 13th Brigade of the Nigerian 3rd Marine Commando Division began making their way towards Umuahia, but they were intercepted outside the city by a division of Biafran soldiers. For nearly 2 weeks, the two sides exchanged gunfire and artillery, resulting in mass casualties on both sides. Because of this, Colonel Adekunle radioed in that he needed reinforcement or his entire division would be at risk of annihilation, but they never arrived. The Biafrans at Umuahia put up a formidable resistance, resulting in the death of over 20,000 soldiers from the 3rd Marine Commando Division. This amounted to 2/3 of the entire division. On the 1st of October, the Nigerian 3rd Marine Commando Division had no other option but to retreat to Port Harcourt, leaving behind Colonel Etuk's 16th Brigade in Owerri. On the 15th of October 1968, troops led by the General Commanding Officer of the Biafran Army, Brigadier Alexander Madiebo, began to encircle Owerri. No further attempts were made by the Biafrans to recapture the city for 2 months. Since the beginning of the Civil War, there had been a conflict between the Biafran soldiers and the white mercenaries they hired. To discredit the mercenaries, the Biafran second-in-command, Major General Philip F. Young, managed to convince Ojukwu to order the 4th Commando Brigade to mount an offensive against the Nigerian position at Onitsha through open terrain. As a result, Ojukwu sent 4,000 troops from the 4th Commando Brigade to Nkwele, less than 10 kilometers outside Onitsha. This brigade was commanded by a no-nonsense German mercenary called Colonel Rolf Steiner. On the 15th of November 1968, Steiner was ordered to launch an offensive operation on Onitsha, coined Operation Hiroshima. The operation was a full frontal attack across an open field, and with no aerial support or any natural obstacles to hide behind, the attacking Biafran Brigade was decimated by machine gun fire from the Nigerian 2nd Division led by Colonel Ibrahim Haruna. As a result, the Biafrans suffered heavy casualties. Undeterred by their losses, Major Taffy Williams, Steiner's second-in-command, ordered a unit of Biafran soldiers under a Belgian called Mark Goshen to attack a Nigerian defensive position. It was nothing but a suicide mission, and Goshen was immediately shot dead. Consequently, the Biafran 4th Commando Brigade lost more than half of its troops to the Nigerians. They were used as pawns in the battle of strength between their commanders. On the 29th of November 1968, the remaining soldiers of the 4th Commando Brigade retreated from Onitsha, leaving the city under complete Nigerian control for the rest of the war. The battle at Onitsha had a serious toll on Colonel Steiner, and he began drinking heavily to help relieve his panic attacks. On the 6th of December 1968, Ojukwu dismissed and deported him and 5 other mercenaries out of Biafra. Ojukwu then handed the command of the 4th Commando Brigade to Major Taffy Williams. In an effort to recapture the town of Owerri, the Biafran 60th Brigade, under the command of Colonel Ajum Asoya, began the main assault on the town on the 5th of December 1968. The assault lasted for 2 days, but the troops from the Nigerian 16th Brigade stayed in their original position despite suffering heavy casualties. On the 15th of March, the Biafran S Division, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Timothy Owantuegu, made the frontal assault on the 16th Brigade in Owerri, but it was forced to halt after suffering heavy casualties. He then placed half of his men under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Achuzie, and he was able to get within 1 kilometer of the city. Achuzie then took control of the S Division for 1 week and continued the frontal assault on Owerri. But his plan ultimately failed and he retreated after suffering heavy casualties. On the 31st of March 1969, the Biafran 14th Division under Colonel Ugbogu Kalu finally attacked Owerri and secured control of over 70% of the city. Colonel Etuk's Nigerian 16th Brigade was getting constantly encircled by the Biafrans, cutting off their food and supplies in the process. The Nigerian 16th Brigade was continuously attacked by the Biafran 60th Brigade moving from the west, the 52nd Brigade from the north, and the 68th Battalion of the S Division from the east. This forced Colonel Etuk to order his troops to fight their way out of the town. On the 20th of April 1969, Etuk's second-in-command, Major Ted Aman, was shot and killed in Owerri by a Biafran sniper who had managed to get within firing range. He will be replaced by Captain Muhammadu Buhari. 4 days later, the remaining soldiers of the Nigerian 16th Brigade successfully retreated from Owerri and escaped into Nigerian held territory. This greatly overjoyed the inhabitants of the ever-decreasing enclave of Biafra,